Matthew chapter 9, verses 9 to 13. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," he told him, and Matthew got up and followed him. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. For I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Jesus had just forgiven the sins of a paralyzed man and healed him. And then Jesus saw Matthew. Matthew was a tax collector. Jewish tax collectors in the time of Jesus collected tax for the Roman government that occupied Israel. Tax collectors often collected more than required to pay themselves. Many tax collectors were wealthy, much wealthier than most Jewish citizens who were poor. A tax collector in the time of Jesus was considered greedy, sinful, and a traitor to Israel. The people of Israel hated Jewish tax collectors. Jesus told Matthew, "Follow me." Matthew obeyed, got up, and followed Jesus. I am not certain, but Matthew probably knew that he was hated by most of the people in Capernaum, where this story takes place. But thousands followed Jesus and were in awe of him. When Jesus called Matthew, he must have felt relieved and somewhat protected from the people's hatred. Later on, Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house. There were many other tax collectors and their friends, who were also probably greedy, sinful, traitors, and therefore wealthy. The Pharisees were there looking at Jesus, the tax collectors and sinners having dinner together. Keep in mind that Jesus have often called the Pharisees hypocrites. The Pharisees did not like what they saw. The Pharisees were religious leaders who believed they were better than others, holier than others. They looked down on everyone, including Jesus. The Pharisees pointed out to his disciples that Jesus was eating with tax collectors and other sinners. Jesus heard what the Pharisees said to his disciples. Jesus pointed out that healthy people do not need a doctor. People who are righteous, people who are not sinners, do not need Jesus. Jesus is the doctor that sinners need so they can be healed. Jesus tells the hypocrites to go learn something. Jesus is referring to Hosea chapter 6, verse 6. "For I desire steadfast love and not sacrifice, the knowledge of God rather than burnt offerings." Jesus is telling the Pharisees that being merciful is better than sacrificing burnt offerings, that knowing God is better than the rituals of offering burnt sacrifices. The Pharisees were known to have little to no mercy. The Pharisees were known for their rituals. The Pharisees knew only the law, but did not know God. Jesus tells the Pharisees one more thing. Jesus came to call sinners, not those who are righteous. Jesus came for you and me. We are all sinners because Adam sinned and we have inherited his sinfulness. We have a desire to do what we want. We want to do things our way. We want to live the way we want to live. We do not want to do what God wants us to do. But that is not surprising. A sinful tree bears sinful fruit. We are sinful, so we go against God. Jesus came for sinners. Jesus came for Matthew, other tax collectors, and the sinners he was having dinner with. Jesus came for all of us, to forgive us, to heal us.